what's up guys, it's Jordan from TeasersBooks, and today I'm going to be doing my October wrap-up and my November TBR. I read a lot of books in the month of October, so let's get started. These are in no particular order, so let's start with We Were Liars by Lockhart. I read this book for my book club at school and I loved it a lot. It was really good. I understand why people have been raving about it for so long. The story was very tragic but also very fun to read, and the ending took me by complete surprise. I was not expecting that. We Were Liars about the Sinclairs, and the Sinclairs is a family that's really rich and they own an island, and every year they go to the island for the summer. The three oldest grandchildren are called the Liars, and then one day one of the Liars brings their friend and he joins the group. It's about this tragic accident that happens on the island, but you don't know what it's about. The main character, Candace, doesn't know what happened on the island that one year, and so when she comes back she's trying to figure out what happened. And it's a really good book. It's a really good dark and contemporary read, and I highly recommend it if you haven't read it yet. Another book I read in the month of October, which was actually a read-along I did with my co-owner of my blog, Hannah, and a friend, another blogger, Zoe from So Many Words, and it is Let's Get Lost by Alsaid. We read this book through the month of October, and then we did a question and answer on Twitter with the author, and it was a lot of fun. The book is 5 short stories, all written around a girl named Layla. And Layla is making a trip up to see the Northern Lights, and you find more and more about her through each different perspective, and the final perspective is actually reading from Layla. And she touches all these different lives throughout her trip. It was very interesting and I liked it a lot, but it was quite predictable at times, and I did find that the romance in it was a bit cliche, although it is a teen book, so I understand. But I did rate it 4 out of 5 stars, I believe, on Goodreads. So yeah, it was still well worth the read. The next book I read, because it was the Booksplosion book of the month, and this was my first time participating, and it was Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. Becca Fitzpatrick wrote the Hush Hush series, and I really actually enjoyed the Hush Hush series at the time, so I decided I'd give Black Ice a try. It was classified as a thriller. 2 girls go up for their spring break up to the mountains to go hiking, and they end up getting taken hostage by 2 older males. And it's about them trying to get away and getting off the mountain safely. I personally really hated this book. It was boring. The characters were very annoying. A lot of the stuff that happened seemed completely irrelevant to the story. I don't recommend this book. I gave it 1 star on Goodreads. I was expecting a lot more from this book because it was so hyped up, and it really did not meet my expectations. Another book I read this month was the 3rd and final book in the Quarantine series. It was Quarantine the Burnouts by Lex Thomas. This is the 3rd and final book in the Quarantine series. It's about 2 boys, David and Will, who go to their high school on their first day of school, and the school goes under quarantine because all the kids get infected with the disease and all their hair turns white, and if they get within so many feet of an adult, then the adult dies. And so the government keeps them trapped in the school. The school ends up dividing into social cliques based on social class, and they all dye their hair different colors based on what they are. The 3rd book was good, but it wasn't as good as the first 2, at least I think so. I did really like the ending in some ways. I thought the last words were just perfect to sum up the book. This is one of my favorite dystopians and favorite series of all time. I really recommend it because it felt really real and the writing was very gruesome. It's not something you would expect from a young adult book. Quarantine. Another book I read this month was Branded by Abby Ketner and Missy Kalicicki. It's about a girl named Lexi who lives in a world where the 7 deadly sins are laws, and if you break one of the laws, then you're sent to the hole. And the hole is a dark place filled with poverty and murder and all that kind of stuff. Lexi is branded with lust, but the thing is she didn't commit the crime, and she's partnered up with a guard to watch over her. I thought it was really good. The only thing I didn't like was sometimes the main character was a bit annoying. She wasn't a very strong character, although she did become stronger as the book went on. She threw up a lot, which was kind of gross, but other than that, I'm really excited for the 2nd book, which comes out in June or July, I think, Hunted, and I can't wait for the rest of this series. The next book I read was The Lost Hero by Riordan. Whoa, I said that weird. This is the 1st book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is a companion series to the Percy Jackson series. It's about a boy named Jason who wakes up on a bus one day and doesn't know where he is, but everyone around him thinks he's crazy because he's been there the whole time and he's not really sure what happened. And so him and his 2 friends that he ends up just meeting, Leo and Piper, get sent to Camp Half-Blood, but Jason doesn't think he belongs there, and they go on this quest to find one of the missing gods. And it's really interesting, and I can't wait to see how the rest of the series plays out, and I can't wait to see Percy and Annabeth again more in the next bit of the series, because they were just amazing characters, and I really love the Percy Jackson series. So yeah, I'm really excited. And the final book I read in the month of October was a book I was not expecting to read, and it is The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. So the first book I'm going to try to read in the month of October, which I've actually already read. So yeah, the book I've already read in the month of October is Say Her Name by James Dawson. It's about Bloody Mary. I wanted to read a book during Halloween. I just didn't finish it before October was over. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. And it's about a bunch of friends who say Bloody Mary in front of a mirror, and she's after them, and they don't know why, and they have to try to solve the legend, but it's a bit of a different legend than the original one. It was actually pretty creepy. A few times I read it before going to sleep, and I was like, nope, I'm not looking in a mirror. I recommend it, but it wasn't my all-time favorite book, but it was nice to try out a more creepy and horror kind of book. The next book on my November TBR, which I've also finished, I finished it yesterday, is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. This is the 3rd book in the Anna and the French Kiss companion series. All 3 books tie up in the end, and I really enjoyed the last book. This book was about a girl named Isla who goes to the American school in France, and she's had a crush on a boy named Josh since the first year of high school. It's just their relationship together, and I was really happy about this one because normally Stephanie Perkins books, the characters don't get together until like the last page, and this one you really got to see their relationship develop. I did really like it for that reason. This was easily a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. If you haven't picked up Stephanie Perkins books yet, I really suggest that you do and give them a try. The next book on my TBR, which I just started, I'm only on the first page pretty much, is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Everyone is telling me to read this series, and I'm not really sure what it's about. Well, it's about a girl named Selena Sidorthian. I don't know how to say her name. And she's an assassin, and if she kills so many other people in a fight, 23 killers, thieves, and warriors in a competition, she'll be released from prison to serve as the king's assassin. Everyone's been saying that this series is amazing, so I'm really going to try to read this book this month. I haven't read much fantasy lately, so I want to give this a try. The next books I'm going to try to get through are the 2nd book in the Throne of Glass series, Crown of Midnight, and the prequel, or The Assassin's Blade, both by Sarah J. Maas. I want to try to get through the whole series, so that includes Heir of Fire. I just don't own Heir of Fire yet, so I'm hoping that I can just zoom right through this series because everyone says it's really good, and I want to catch up. Another book that I'm going to try to get through this month, I decided to read another book that wasn't fantasy because I'm reading a whole series, or going to try to read a whole series, is the Amy and Roger's epic Detour by Morgan Matson. I've started this book, but I found it difficult to get into because there's always something else that I want to read more whenever I try to pick up this book. I'm less than 50 pages in, I think. Yeah, I'm under 30 pages in. So far, it's about a girl named Amy whose father gets in a car accident. Her mother decides to move across the country, and her mom gives her the job of driving the car across the United States. Because she can't drive a car, her family friend Roger decides that he has to also travel across the country and offers to drive her. I've heard great things about this book, and I've been wanting to read it for a very long time, so I'm really excited to see how this plays out. And the last book that I hope to get to in the month of November is The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare. I think the book comes out November 11th. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not, or just ask for it for Christmas, so we'll see about that. But it is basically a collection of short stories that Cassandra Clare has written with a few other of her author friends about Magnus Bane from the Mortal Instruments series. I really liked Magnus in the Mortal Instruments series. He was a very interesting and very energetic character, and I can't wait to see what kind of trips he's going on. I especially want to hear about why he was banned from Peru, a bunch of other things like that, and especially his relationship with Alec, because I find that their relationship was really underplayed in the Mortal Instruments series. So that's it for my October wrap-up and my November TBR. Once again, you can follow me on my Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and my blog. I'll put the links down below. Good luck to all of you guys, if any of you guys are doing the NaNoWriMo competition or write-a-thon, pretty much. Good luck to anyone doing any kind of readathons or just reading in general. I hope you guys get a lot of reading done in the month of November, and I'll have up another video hopefully next week. So thanks for watching, and keep on reading, guys.